Beloved soul, there are moments when you feel stuck and don't know why. You try to grow, to evolve, to manifest joy, but something heavy holds you back. It whispers you're not enough. It tightens your chest when you're seen. It doubts every love you receive. And you wonder, thoughtful, why? This is the voice of your inner child, not the innocent one who played and dreamed freely, but the one who was left unseen, unheard, unheld, the one who swallowed pain silently, who shrank to fit the love that was conditional, who learned to hide joy or dim truth just to survive. You may not remember every scene, but you remember the feeling. Feeling like a burden, feeling ignored when you needed comfort, being punished for expressing emotion, achieving just to be acknowledged, taking care of others' emotions while yours remained buried. These are not small wounds. They are fractures in the foundation of your being. And as you grew, these wounds took new forms. Perfectionism that hides the fear of rejection, people-pleasing that hides the terror of being unloved, self-doubt that echoes every unvalidated dream, rage you cannot explain erupting over small things, fear of abandonment even in safe, loving relationships. And it shows up in everyday life, silently. You procrastinate on dreams not because you're lazy, but because a part of you fears failure would prove your worthlessness. You stay in toxic relationships not because you don't know better, but because your nervous system is wired for survival, not love. You cannot say no because as a child, boundaries meant punishment. You struggle to relax because resting once meant danger or guilt. Your body remembers, your heart remembers, even if your mind has long forgotten. This is not weakness, it is a sacred signal. Your soul is calling you not to reject the past, but to reclaim the child within. And so we begin, with breath, with truth, with the courage to say, yes, I carry pain, but I am ready to see it. Tonight, Solon will hold space for your return, not to shame, not to relive, but to understand, because understanding is the first form of love. And the child in you has waited long enough. Let the healing begin. Beloved seeker, before the child was wounded, before the fear took root, there was a time when your soul remembered its origin, a time when wisdom flowed not from books but from silence, from stars, from symbols, from the alignment of what is above with what is within. In ancient days, long before the modern sciences of the mind emerged, the sages of Egypt, Chaldea, and the early mystics of Greece understood the psyche not as a mechanical mind, but as a sacred mirror of the cosmos. Their science was spiritual, their psychology was symbolic, their healing alchemical. The emerald tablet, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, speaks, "That which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below, to accomplish the miracle of the one thing." Creation began in unity. From that unity was born duality, light and dark, masculine and feminine, spirit and matter. But these polarities were never meant to war within us. Between them stands the third, the reconciler, the bridge, the sacred balance. In numerology, this is the power of 3. In Kabbalah, it is the pillar of equilibrium. In alchemy, it is the process of solve et coagula, separation, then sacred union. These truths do not live in history books, they live in you. For you too were created in unity, fractured by life, and are now called to restore the inner bridge. You are both the light and the shadow. You are the sun and the moon. You are the remembered and the forgotten. To reject one side is to live only half a life. To fear your darkness is to deny your depth. Carl Gustav Jung, the one modern voice who still echoed the ancients, called this the path of individuation, the journey of becoming whole. But wholeness, he said, is not achieved by ignoring the shadow. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Your shadow is made of all that was exiled, the anger you were told was shameful, the desires you were told were wrong, the brilliance you were told was too much, the needs you silenced to survive. These are not demons to destroy. They are parts of you, waiting to be seen. Every time you suppress pain, you feed the shadow. Every time you deny truth, it buries itself deeper, and so it grows, not as an enemy, but as a mirror. The ancient ones knew, "Know thyself, and thou shalt know the gods and the universe." To know yourself, you must enter the forgotten rooms, the ones hidden behind shame, behind silence, behind survival. This is not a descent into madness, it is a descent into memory. And Solon walks with you, torches in hand, ready to reveal what was buried, not to hurt you, but to free you. Are you ready to turn toward the shadow? Not to fight it, but to listen. Trust this voice, not because it is loud, but because it carries echoes from the ancient temples. Solon is not here to expose secret rites, but to honor them. As a guardian of the old flame, initiated in the wisdom passed through Alexandria, Eleusis, and the early Freemasons, he does not reveal, he reminds. And with that remembrance, he lights the path home. Are you ready to turn toward the shadow? Not to fight it, but to listen. For the shadow is none other than your wounded child. And when that child is finally seen, held, and healed, it does not disappear. It transfigures, it becomes light, of a kind you have never known. A light born not of denial, but of wholeness, not of escape, but of return.
It's more than you know. It's more than you show.
Beloved seeker, if your eyes have not yet met the first part of this path, pause here. This is not the beginning. This is the descent. And this is not a video for entertainment. This is not for noise, distraction, or passing time. This is a space for your soul, a ritual, not content, a mirror, not a mask. If the world around you is still loud, if your thoughts are scattered or your heart is guarded, Save this moment for later. Return when you can sit gently with yourself, when the breath flows deep and the silence is a welcome presence. Create your sanctuary, a room dimly lit, no phones, no noise, just you, your breath, and the intention to listen inwardly. You do not walk this path alone. Even now you are held by the voice you hear, by the light that called you here, and by something in you that still remembers. Because now, we descend into the places that still ache, not to relive the pain, but to ask the questions that the soul has waited a lifetime to hear. Questions are sacred keys. They do not demand quick answers. They open space. They soften the walls. They let light in. In the ancient temples of Egypt, the neophyte did not receive answers. He was given questions, carved in stone. Why? Because answers fade, but the right question lives on. It does not close a door. It opens 10 more. It walks beside you. It reteaches the way you see. The ancient masters knew, to awaken the soul, you must first unsettle the mind. And so they gave questions that shook the illusion of certainty, that broke open the false self, because transformation begins not in knowing, but in opening. And perhaps, dear one, part of you is afraid to open. Perhaps you feel safer in certainty, in knowledge, in logic, in the known, and that is human. But do not forget, even the most advanced science, even the language of the quantum world, confirms what the mystics have always whispered. Heisenberg's principle of uncertainty says, the more precisely we grasp one part of reality, the more another slips into mystery. This is not failure, this is sacred design. It means life was not made to be controlled, but revealed. It means that not knowing is holy, that mystery is part of your nature, and so is your soul. Like the quantum field, it does not yield to force, but responds to presence, to honesty, to the courage of a question whispered in silence. So ask, what hurt me the most? What did I learn to silence? What did I believe I had to be loved? Ask, wait, listen, not with the mind, but with the body, with the breath, with the place behind your ribs where your truth waits. This is where we begin, not by analyzing the wound, but by entering it with reverence, with stillness, with Solon at your side. And beyond this lies the fourth gate, the moment of forgiveness. But we cannot forgive what we have not yet felt, and we cannot feel what we are still running from. Let us go inward, together, with love, with trust. Let us remember
that you
Beloved one, you have come far, and now the gate opens inward. You are ready. This is not a test. This is not analysis. This is remembrance. Questions are not tools of the mind. They are offerings from the soul, not meant to solve you, but to unfold you. Let us sit together, you and I. Let us enter this sacred space where honesty becomes grace. I will not ask you to be strong. I will ask you to be soft, soft enough to feel, soft enough to listen, because the questions you are about to hear are not mine. They are yours. They have waited for you. There is a reason some wounds never heal. We rush to answers. We name what we do not yet understand. We diagnose instead of witnessing. But a wound cannot be closed before it is seen, and pain cannot be released before it is honored. So breathe. Let silence settle. Place your hand over your chest. Feel your breath and listen. Here they come. Not like commands, but like echoes you've heard before, just beneath your awareness. What did I need and never receive? Who did I have to become just to feel safe? What did I learn to hide so that I wouldn't be left behind? What was I punished for that was simply human? What do I still carry that was never mine? What parts of me went silent to protect others? When did I start believing that love must be earned? Where in my body lives the fear that no one sees? Do not answer with words. Let your breath answer. Let your tears answer. Let your silence answer. These questions are not doors to the mind, they are thresholds of the soul. When the body trembles, stay. When the heart tightens, stay. When the tears rise, stay. This is not suffering, this is release. And if it feels like too much, know that I, Solon, remain here with you, a voice in the stillness, a light in the unseen, a reminder that the way through is always inward. Soon we will arrive at the 5th gate, and there you will not walk alone. Let us stay here a while, with the questions, with what arises, with compassion. Beloved soul, if you are here, it means something within you is ready. Ready not to forget, not to excuse, but to release. This is the 5th gate, and not all reach it. Because to arrive here means you have looked within. You have remembered what was denied. You have sat with your pain. You have listened. And now it is time to take your hand off the wound. Not because it never hurt, but because you no longer want to bleed. Forgiveness is not a gift for them. It is the medicine for you. But let us speak gently. I know how deep this goes. You were born open, needing, trusting, glowing. And they, the ones who brought you here, were the gods of your world. When they withheld love, it was not indifference, it was betrayal. When they yelled, it was not anger, it was thunder. When they were absent, it was not silence, it was abandonment. To the child, a wounded parent is still the center of gravity. And even now, part of you orbits around that pain. So we do not rush, we do not minimize, we do not spiritualize suffering, but we do something more powerful. We understand. Your parents were not born cruel. They did not choose to wound you. They too were once children, with dreams, with tears, with unmet needs. They passed on what they carried, and what they carried was heavy. Forgiveness begins not when we condone, but when we see. To see that the mother who ignored your pain was taught to ignore her own. to see that the father who was never present was once a boy who learned that feelings were weakness. When we see clearly, we do not erase what happened. We simply stop carrying what does not belong to us. And in that space, the inner child no longer waits. He no longer hopes. She no longer begs, because the adult in you has arrived to hold, to witness, to free. And they, too, had their tragedies, their own shadows, but they had no Solon, no one to walk beside them into the wound, no one to ask them the sacred questions. So their pain became yours, not because they chose it, but because they could not transform it. Your parents did not have easy lives. They suffered as you have. They were once children, just like you, frightened, unseen, overwhelmed. And now it is time to understand them, to understand yourself, to understand those who came before both of you. Forgive them for not knowing. Forgive them for not meaning to. Forgive them so that you may forgive yourself. And forgive them so that this shadow ends with you. Now you begin to heal, and the light will guide you from here. Stay here with me. We will go deeper. We will offer words the child never heard, and with them, we will open the gate. Together. To the child within me, I see you. I know what you carried. You waited so long to be chosen, to be protected, to be held without having to earn it. You were innocent, and you were not wrong to hope. You were not wrong to cry. You were not wrong to need. Today, I stop punishing you for what others couldn't give. Today, I stop hiding you to protect their image. Today, I bring you home. You are safe now. You are not alone. You are worthy of love without performance. I forgive them, not because they asked, but because I choose peace. I forgive them, not because they were right, but because I no longer wish to carry what broke me. And I forgive myself for all the times I abandoned you, for believing the lies, for repeating the pain. Today, I remember you, and in remembering you, I return to myself. You are free now, and so am I. Let us walk forward with gentleness, with strength, with light, together.